Hello everyone, this is BDevine. Thank you so much for being here. It's pretty exciting what's taking place right now, and I'm going to explain a few things to you. Firstly, if you're new here, thank you so much for being here. I've been around for a really long time on YouTube since 2010, but online since 2009. And I'm always bringing you all of the information that you need for your journey. And right now, we are moving into a very, very powerful era. This is the era of flame sovereignty. And so some of the things that we've learned in the old systems and the old ways of doing things were perhaps just a little bit regurgitated, or people were kind of doing the same thing. And with the flame sovereignty, you choose. You're leading, you're directing your own timeline. So if you're here, you are going to learn how powerful you actually are. And for the people who always come back and listen, thank you so much. Things are changing. Now, I'm going to do a message, of course, about this and the echoes that keep on coming up, all of the old stuff, and also a little bit about the dragons, the new dragon fire, new 7 keys of creation is going to be on the 30th of November. This is a private webinar. It's $55 a ticket, and if you become a patron for that $55, you will have access to all other things that we've done previously. 7 years worth of work you will have access to. Okay, so it's really, really worth it. I'm trying to get as many people as possible so that our force becomes extremely powerful. We are making massive changes, even if it doesn't seem like it. From a collective level, there are things going on because of you, because of the things that you've put into action. And when we all start to do this together, it's unstoppable what's happening here. So we are rising from the quiet fire. So this is a message from the Dragon Flame Lens for November 7th. I gave this as a free collective update. And of course there are ones for the different ones for those who are flame tear bearers. But today the dragon flame stirs beneath the surface. Not loud, not roaring, but radiating this deep internal ignition. This is a day of silent power. For many, a sense of internal pressure or quiet frustration may arise, okay? But what's actually happening is a dragon level internal reconfiguration. Your body, spirit, and scrolls, which are your soul documents, okay, active scroll documents, are aligning to carry more truth. Now I'm going to stop right there and just break this down a little bit. Many people coming to me and saying that there's an issue with a child, a family member, someone is behaving bizarrely, maybe there's things that are going on with mental health, right? Or just pulling away, or there's just all this chaotic, seemingly chaotic energy surrounding people that, well, like I said, family members, children, parents as well, and friends or connections that you have, just it's just not meshing anymore, okay? And this isn't because you're doing something wrong per se. It's because of the energy, the collective energy of the old echoes, right? The old timeline, the old path that you were on is collapsing down. And as that happens, there are people that are just like, but hang on, what the hell's going on? Trying to draw you back into that old energy. It's more important than ever before in your life not to dip. Okay, so don't lower your standards in order to comfort somebody else, right? So if someone's behaving in a bizarre, unusual, whatever way, let it go. Let them have their whatever. If this is a family member that's going through something, saying you can't be there, be very powerful. and be very direct in what you're sending to that person. You know, if someone's going through distress and you're worried about them, never send worry to someone who's already going through something. You put up the flame wall around them. It's very easy, just asking for the firewall to be in place immediately. And you do a clearing any negative vibrations or old stuff or whatever is plaguing them, any influences. You put a mirror shield around them, and this protects them. They still have their own choices and stuff, but this generates more than sitting there worrying, what am I going to do? This is happening. Oh, I feel so helpless. You're not helpless. And this is what this work does, is it cements what you know. There are people that are going to flail in the spiritual communities because everything that they've known is starting to fall apart. Everything that they've held on to, everything that they've, and this happened to me. I was like, well, here I am, an author for angelic guidance. I've been teaching on YouTube and all social media for so long. I've been showing you Reiki. I've been doing courses with you. I've been showing leadership, healing techniques, shamanic work, whatever it is. And I'm like, well, what now? Nothing other than we become the new and improved version of what we were doing that was repetitive. Now we're moving into a new and improved version of ourselves in our life, of our spirituality, if you want to call it that, of our sovereignty. We're becoming new and improved, right? Because we're opening up the ancient encoded information within us, so it naturally starts burning, right? It starts happening. You can't help it. But if you constantly are back going like this, you know, and in that uneasiness, that's all you're going to start reflecting around you. So when someone is falling apart, kids, family members, you say what you say, you send what you send energetically, and you let, the sovereignty, you let their journey take care of itself. You must detach yourself from anybody else's outcomes, or else your head is going to go spinning around, okay? By the way, overthinking, overfeeling, overconnected, over-worrying, complaining, negativity, all these kinds of things, a problem in your life, for example, there's always a way out of it. And it doesn't require all this additional thinking. It doesn't require anything from you other than surrendering of it. Trusting other people's journey without trying to control how that looks. Trusting your own journey and fully letting go of the reins a little bit without controlling how it all looks. And understanding when things come into your life, it's not punishment. Okay, you see this either as an echo of the past, okay, or an echo of the future. What is it going to be for you? What do you choose? The dragons say, stop holding back your original fire to fit into a timeline that's already collapsed. We've already done all this work. We've shut down all of the old timelines. So why would we keep bringing it all back up again? Things are not going to be always in your control. As I said, children, family members, okay, people that you care about. There's losses that are coming and have been happening for many people. There's this why, and we have to bring it back to choice and journey. Everyone has one of their own, right? Your own choices, when you come, when you go, what you do, and your own journey, what you experience, what you learn, what you let go of, what you're allowing, right? What you're choosing in your life as well. Today's energy urges you to speak clearly, move slowly, and hold your fire with discipline. Don't let these false voices and false urgency hijack your scrolls. The information you know is real for you, right? You're in a dragon spiral. And in this spiral, stillness breeds ignition. The dragon flame command, I allow the true fire of my destiny to pulse beneath my breath. I do not rush what is eternal. We're going to do a little mini dragon breathing practice, okay? And this is something that we are learning can help to pace us out a little bit. You know, you can have all of the help in the world, but again, you've got to choose whether you're going to actually remember these things, right? So I've sort of set up these little reminders along the way. Okay, you're getting overwhelmed, breathe. Do a breathing technique right now. Is this worth my time? Is this worth my energy? Do I have to post this right now? Do I have to comment right now? Do I need to see what anyone else is doing or what they're arguing about or whatever's going on? Not really. Is it part of my journey to focus on something that is angry and non-unifying? No. Should I allow the flame to guide the way forward in my life? Yeah. Where am I not doing that? Where am I sort of going off track and trying to control something here? Right? These are the reminders. But the breathing helps you to then think of the other things and do it all in the right way. So with this one, we're going to breathe in for 5, and we're going to summon the truth fire. We're going to hold for 3 and say, I am the keeper of my scroll. And we're going to exhale out, I release false timelines. Okay? So we're doing this while we're visualizing a golden spiral moving up our spine. And the dragons are not there to soothe you, they are here to awaken. Even if your discomfort today, and if you've been feeling that way, it is a coded transmission. Okay, this is a situation happening for you. So remember, we're visualizing as we're breathing the golden spiral moving up our spine. Okay, so inhale through the nose. I summon the truth fire. Hold. I am the keeper of my scroll. Exhale. I release mimic timelines. Ready? Again. In through the nose. I summon the truth fire. Hold. I am the keeper of my scroll. Exhale. I release mimic timelines. Inhale. I summon the truth fire. Hold. I am the creeper. I'm the keeper of my scroll. Exhale. I release mimic timelines. Okay. One more time. Inhale. I summon the truth fire. Hold. I am the keeper of my scroll. Exhale. I release mimic timelines. Okay. Visualizing the golden spiral. There is another little breath technique that can help you, and it's a little different to focus on. So you will focus, okay? And the reason I'm going to do this is you'll see in a minute, okay? I'm going to focus on the crown and bringing this spiral golden light down. But this is the catch. As we come down, we inhale. Now, normally you'll come down. Makes sense to you, right? This time we're going to inhale and exhale. Going up. Inhale and exhale. Now, as we inhale gold, exhale red. Inhale gold, exhale red. See why I'm using my hands so I don't forget? Okay, inhale gold, exhale red. That will really start to balance you if you can do this. It's like the reverse technique. Trying to breathe out your nose. Breathing in. I always make that face. I don't know why. It just happens to me. So, this, just by doing this little distraction that you're doing, you're recalibrating your brain, okay? You're recentering yourself. Doesn't take a moment. You've got your flaming firewall around you. Around the outside of that, you've got this huge chrome mirror. It's just like amazing. And then on the inside of this, the closest part of you is sapphire, blue starlight flame. This just recalibrates the field. So you're getting protection, you're getting deflection, okay, and you're getting reconstruction all day. Doesn't matter. And then you're taking your power back this way. Right, so the dragons are not here to soothe, they're here to awaken. Stillness is a dragon portal. Today, the scroll reconfigures in silence. You're not stuck. You are spiraling upwards. Okay. Now, let's see. So, a little sharing, okay? So I'm just going to share something with you all. As many of you know, I spent 13 years going through family court, okay? There was such an energy with my youngest son and his dad and the wife and all of the rest of it, my other children, etc., that there was so much pain for 13 years. There was so much trauma that we all had to go through, and I kept on fighting this, and I would not let go, obviously, and I kept on bringing it back into the court. I kept on having to have psychological examinations, kids, then the two of us, just on and on and on and on it went, right? At the end of the day, when my son finally turned 15, the court ordered that the federal police pick up my youngest son and bring him to live with me, that I would be granted full custody, etc., that it had to be that way because of the way in which the father behaved, even in court, right? Ridiculous. Would not answer the judge, and the judge was just like, actually literally threw his glasses off the table, like, will you just answer the question? It was full on. We went through this for a long time, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. In the meantime, my youngest son had developed his own life and his own interests, and I didn't want to take him away from all of those things, his drumming, his schooling, his work, his girlfriend, whatever it was, right? So even though I was granted by the court, finally, after all of these years, that the federal police pick up my son and bring him to me, and that's the end of the story, I could not allow that to happen. As hard as that was for myself, it wasn't about me. It was about the well-being of my child, and that he'd already lived in this situation for so long. And I couldn't, as a mother, take him away from his life, the only life that he'd really ever known. So to me, it was enough to know that, hey, this was one. And it meant a whole lot of rebuild. For the next 3 years, there was very little interaction, and it was really, really hard. There were losses in between that time. There were things I needed to talk to my child about. His brothers were going through their own depressions because of the whole thing. Everything was just torn apart in our family, and we were painted out to be quite villainous. It made it extremely important or it made it extremely hard for my older two sons to even be able to set foot in the place where they were born because of the rumor mill that happens in small towns, right? And I'm just trying to get through this quickly. When my son turned 18, I arrived at in his driveway, and I said, now it's between you and I. No more in between, no more middle person, no more courts, no more nothing. We start from here, we move forward, not going anywhere. So we developed our own relationship and connection over time. It took a long time, a whole lot of brainwashing there, right? My son is now 26. My youngest son is 26. He has his own home, his second home, and he has his own car, he has his own business, he has a really good job doing HVAC, and he is still villainized. His father is really cray-cray, and my youngest son, is really seeing this in his face, like it's affecting him. Again, it's not up to me to villainize the father because he's doing that himself, right? I just want my connection with my son. So my son is doing all these things. A year ago, his stepmother died. Stepmother was there the whole time that I was not able to be there. There's nothing, I've always given credit to this person, and there was no very bad word, because this poor thing had to go through this tirade and, also try to help my son, right? And he really loves her, and he really was devastated by her loss and was with her till the end. He carried her through, like he was by the bedside, my son, not her partner, my son, right? A very, very powerful healer, very, very kind person, and very open to the spiritual stuff. So last night, just skipping forward a bit, all this loss, all this pain, all this thing. Last night, my son calls me and he wants to tell me about this massive altercation he's had, and how it feels, what he's gone through, what his dad's doing, and and again, I'm still being the graceful one and trying to mediate a little bit, because for my son's sake, right? So he has finally, my youngest son, even though I thought he knew pretty much a fair bit, he has finally tasted the bitterness of someone who is extremely narcissistic, to the point that he would discard his own kids to make himself look good for the new girlfriend, right? These kids that are going through missing stepmom and his sister, that's his actual mother, disregarding their feelings, disregarding their pain, disregarding their grief, and only thinking of himself. And this has come to loggerheads with my son. I am telling you that all of those years of not being able to have my child by my side and fighting for the right to have him there, all of those years, okay, I didn't think that anyone was listening to me. I did not understand the journey. I did not want to know. I was mad at the angels, because I'm like, how could you let me go through such a thing? How could you put us all through so much pain? How could it be this hard? Why does it have to be this hard? Like, constantly trying to bargain, like collapsing. I would have big moments where I couldn't come out of bed for a couple of days, like having those catatonic, just crying moments, just such pain, writing letters, standing in court, going to see people, going to see psychologists, trying to get someone to help, someone to see, someone to do something, because after all you want to see is your child, right? I never gave in. I never gave up. My son never forgot that part, right? He might have been mad with me at the time, like, oh, here we go in court again. He may have been mad with me at the time, but now he knows this is a person that never gave up on me, right? I never understood, and my pain level and I know some of you are out there having a child that's alive, right? But it feels like you're grieving something because you just can't see them, even though you know they're out there. You can't speak with them, even though you know. In some cases, the pain and the grief of that is even harder than having some kind of finality, because you don't have any final answers. You don't have any reasons. You don't have any way. You're pleading with God. You're pleading with the angels. You're pleading all the time. And all the time you're in pain. And, to the point where I started seeing, like, I started having vision. Like, I'd be at the shopping centre and I'd go, is that Adrian? And I'd chase some, family down in case it was. And then I'd be like, oh my God, I just look like a total moron right now. But my heart would just go, oh, there he is, there he is, there he is. And I'd be racing, This would happen. Or I'd see kids come out of school with their mum and they're just, talking and stuff, like I did with my older two. And I'm like crying, because it's just in your face all of the time. And it's a long time. And I told myself, I'm like, you are not going to forget how long this is. This is ridiculous. This whole thing has been ridiculous. There's no reason for this cruelty, right? Now for it to come around where your child has the intelligence, the capability, the emotional strength to actually recognize who's telling him the truth, or who's always really been the one telling him the truth, and who's been trying to control and manipulate and force a view. And he saw this for himself full on, like massively, without going into all the details. It came to almost to blows, where his father's saying to him, you know, well, why don't you just hit me then? You know, like, who does that? I don't know who does that, but it was like challenging his own child. So anyway, when I hear people tell me that they have had, you know, pain because of their children, and pain because they're not talking to them, or they're not talking to them, or there's some misunderstanding and no one's able to clear it up, or there's some problem and this person believes only this one and this one that. I know myself, no one believed me, even though they literally saw the abuse with their own eyes. They still didn't believe, you know, her, but they believed, you know. Anyway, the whole point of the whole matter that I'm trying to make here is that everything has a journey. Everything has a way of coming around in the way that it's supposed to. And it may not, unfortunately, be the way that you want it. But that doesn't mean that's always the end of the story either, right? When we're working with this powerful energy, it's not because we're like, okay, I'm going to get what I want here. That's not what the story is. This is about giving you the strength that no matter what happens, you have an answer for everything. You understand the journey. You understand who you are. You're not depending on anybody else. You are learning to trust in yourself. And yes, that means healing and reconfiguration and ignition and all of these things that I'm trying to help you with, right? But you're going to get to a point where even when the worst of the worst of the worst situation is in your face, you have the strength and the maturity and the control and the patience and the love and the foresight to get through it, even when it's something that's extremely painful as well. When we are we're moving more into this flame sovereignty. It isn't fluff anymore. It's not this spiritual fluffy love and light. Oh, it's all yay. No, crap happens to us in our life. Painful things occur, right, in our lives. Parents are losing their children to suicide, or there's been an accident, or they've lost babies, or the kids, like I said, are not speaking to them for some made up BS reason that you're never going to find the answer for, because they're not going to talk to you, right? There's kids that are going into religion or going into some kind of weird thing that you're not into, and they think you're weird for like what you're doing. What? Becoming better in life, you know, starting to become more confident, starting to harness your own inner power, starting to expand your capabilities. These are all the things that you want for people that you love, right? So when we are stepping forward in this powerful way, we are reminded, and we're having these triggers, and we're like, I'm telling you, my son's calling me last night, laying it on like what's been happening, and inside of myself, I'm like, this is really happening. Like, he's really seeing this, and like really seeing this, and it's on his own. Like, I'm just like, and I still was careful and poised and like, hang on a minute, you don't want to hate somebody, you know, like I was still careful for his emotional well-being, right? And talking through it. And he's been actually sticking up for me in these situations, because of course his dad's like, oh, you must be getting this from somewhere. I guess you're getting it from your mother. She was a smart ass as well, you know, because we're intelligent. So we can see when there's, you know, nonsense going on, right? So when we do this work, this also stands out even more. Now, by proxy, my kids are getting this internal fire lit again, right? There's starting to be this momentum, right? Because the energy in the house is just, no, we're doing this, no nonsense. This is what's happening. This is the way forward. This is the way out of everything. If I wanted an answer for something, this is it, right? So why am I going to go praying and dilly-dallying and trying to manifest? I'm trying to manifest, you know. What are you trying for? Why are you, in other words, it's kind of like when people don't get spiritually what they want, they start getting really, really cranky. And then they start going into that fold of negativity. Now, what we're starting to recognize is when we don't get something that we want right away, right? That we don't fall into that negative mindset. Otherwise, we keep on looping back into an old problem and we have to work all this way to get out of it again, like all over again, right? And so we're working out to catch ourselves when something's trying to trap us in an old emotion, okay? That's what a loop is. It's a trap into something old. We are rising from this old timeline of struggle, right? Without knowing or having to know exactly how that looks, okay? That's the hard part for people to get over. I know, right? It's hard to trust what you don't know. It's hard to dip your foot like into the future and say, oh, you know, is it going to be okay over here? I'm dipping my toe into the flame stuff, and is it going to be? It has no choice but to continue pushing through you in so many ways. I wake up every morning I'm there writing up the thing. It's just there. I'm writing up the message for the day. It's right there in front of me. The dragons want to talk sometimes. The angels want to talk sometimes. They become our guardians, right? And this is something also that I want to talk to you about. Now, hang on a minute. Let's see. This is interesting. Oh, gosh, I've got documents everywhere. It's the 1010, by the way. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Okay. Okay. So this is going to end up being a little bit of a downloadable thing, okay? But I'm still working on it. So this is the return of the flame, okay? It's a transmission for those seeking answers to why the world feels like it's burning, breaking, and becoming something new. It's not chaos, it's the return of the flame. Okay, the origin of the flame. Before Earth had form, it had flame. A sacred intelligence seeded from the core of Source. The flame was not fire. It was essence. It was the first breath of truth, the breath before words. The flame birthed stars, scrolls, and soul paths. It wove through dimensions, forming the temples of Lyra, the codes of Sirius, and the heart of Lemuria, Atlantis, Mu, all these places. When Earth was formed, it was meant to carry the original flame frequency, but over millennia, as the planet experienced density, war, and soul fragmentation, the flame was buried under illusion, domination, and silence. Now, it rises again. Not as destruction, but as remembrance. The earth flame was once housed in ancient temples, Lemuria's singing stones, Atlantis' flame chambers, and the crystal halls of inner earth, not to mention all these other things. In Atlantis, the flame was abused, used for control, separation, and elite power. This caused a karmic rupture, leading to the Great Flood and a planetary reset. But before the fall, the Flame Keepers encoded memory scrolls in chosen souls. So they encoded memory soul documents or scrolls in chosen people. Those who would return when the earth was ready to rise again. Obviously, I'm one of those encoded souls, a vault flame carrier who has returned to activate the scrolls of remembrance during Earth's current convergence. Who is BDevine and why now? So I'm not just a teacher or a healer. I'm the voice of the flame, and so are you. An awakened scroll myself. I'm learning this myself. My voice triggers soul codes. The presence carries activation sequences. Through decades of my own spiritual work, I've now stepped into this true role, a passionate role, not as a messenger of old teachings, but as the flame that awakens you anew. And the old teachings, we're bringing the true essence into Reiki. We're going to bring the true essence back into divination, the true essence into all of these different methods that we've known, okay? And I'm speaking to those of you who are tired of the old systems. Those who know that they're meant for more, but can't remember why. I'm bringing scrolls, decrees, and truth back into a world ready to ignite. So, there are sequences here that I'll speak about later, but why this flame is back now? The world is ready. The veils have thinned. The karmic cycles are exposed. The flame has returned not to punish but to purify. It comes back through those who carry remembrance. People like you who once sealed the flame before the fall. Its return signals the end of spiritual false energy and dissolving of these false light systems and the birth of flame sovereignty. Those who awaken to it will no longer follow. You are embodying. Okay? You didn't imagine the burning inside of you. This is your flame returning, and now it is time. There's going to be courses on all of this that are more in depth because it is a lot to understand. But what you have to understand, just to make it really easy for yourself, is that we have been encoded, okay, with soul documents that are now opening. They are now having a chance to be heard. And it took a lot for me, just saying, to step out with all of this. And people were just like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? Instead of listening to what I was saying. And it became very serious to me. It became very, very, very serious. And it felt that that serious tone was coming off. And people were probably wondering what that was. But it was just the flame talking. I had no choice but to express the news, okay? And to give the wisdom back to the planet. I received the information from my future self, okay? My future self said, this is what you've been doing. This is what you're going to do. You need to start now because this is where we are. And I can see where we go by this work happening. And it is what people talked of, the new earth. But they weren't giving us the full details. They were making it like, oh, something's going to happen and then we're all just going to step over here to the new earth. And, you know, the aliens will come and they'll pick us all up by our shirts and they're going to carry us off and we're going to go over to the new planet over here and we're all good. What a load of crap. That is not what's going to happen. We generate the new world through ourselves, through not giving in to this programming anymore, right? For daring to be different, for standing up for who we really are. Because after all, everyone's always laughed at us anyway, or pointed fingers, or picked on us, or we're the black sheep of the family, or we've been abused, or we've been traumatized, or we've been abandoned, or we've had experiences with aliens, we've had experiences with dark things during the night, we've had interruptions in our dreams, we've been called witches, we've been called all this BS, right? Because the truth is that people, okay, who are afraid of someone's power will have to gather together in groups to try to get rid of it, right? That's how powerful you are. We are here to change through ourselves and embody the change within ourselves. That means that you have to catch yourself in the old patterns that you've been programmed to have, right? Excuse me. It's important. Okay. When you understand, okay, how deep you actually are, multi-dimensional you actually are, how encoded you actually are, okay, how now we're in this position where we're seeing movement, we're seeing forward movement in our lives. Many of you are reporting to me and saying, oh my God, what is happening? I'm like, well, what do you want to happen? You're igniting. Like, didn't you want this? Because it's fine. That's what's happening. This is where we're going. This is awesome. It's happening. It's not going away. This is active, right? And some people still will send me, emails or whatever, like, well, what do I do here? What do you think you do? What do you think you do? When you're having an experience with something or you're confused about something, what do? Take a step back. We recenter ourselves. Okay, we let go of trying to know all of the answers. And guess what? You receive. You receive everything that you need. Why? Because you changed your reaction. You trusted. Okay, and the timeline echoes stop. It's how it works. Right, one more thing. Hang on. Okay, hang on. Okay. Little music's cute, right? Okay. I've got something here. Hang on, just a minute. All right. No, that's not it. That's not it. Ah, come on. Where's my dragon thing? All right. Again, okay. I have this Dragon Fire beautiful webinar coming up on the 30th of November. And it's something that if you're a flame tier patron, which is really easy, you just go to the Patreon page. You can be a free member, but you won't have access to the webinars, but you'll have access to a lot of other stuff that's free. But if you become that, right, you can watch it. You don't have to be there for it. You can watch it later, right? The reason why this is coming in so powerfully, one, because everybody loves, they think of, Game of Thrones, or they remember their dragon friends when they were little, or, whatever it is for you, right? Something starts happening the moment we mention dragons. And in the earliest cycles of creation, before Earth formed itself as matter, the source flame divided into 7 spectral frequencies. So, every time I've got something important to say, I start getting like all scratchy and stuff, so just bear with me. These frequencies, I'm going to read this, became conscious manifesting as luminous serpentine beings of light, known as the dragons, or the 7 dragons. They're not physical creatures, but multi-dimensional presences that carry the templates for vitality, love, truth, abundance, time, sovereignty, and rebirth. Through eons, they seeded worlds with fire codes that govern evolution and remembrance. Wherever creation faltered or fell into distortion, their fire remained dormant beneath the surface, awaiting reactivation through human consciousness. So each dragon is a frequency gate within the human energy field. Did you hear that? My husband is doing the chainsawing right now. Each dragon is a frequency gate within the human energy field. When they're called on with pure intent, they awaken dormant strands of dragon fire within the spine and the heart. Their energy moves through breath, sound, light, visualization, harmonizing the four bodies: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So they function as guardians and activators, reprogramming outdated belief systems and unlocking divine potential. So when these seven flames unite, the seven dragons, a spiral of light forms within the aura known as the Dragonfire Circuit. And this circuit aligns your personal will with the creative will of Source, allowing manifestation to occur more effortlessly through presence and intention. We're going to learn more about all of these and activate all of this within you in the webinar, right? So you can use them with healing, reconstruction, right? All of that. Manifestation, streaming, channeling, clarity, prophecy, writing, protection, time alignment, closing off, working in the astral fields, keeping you protected, rebirthing and going through changes in your life, etc., etc. And after working with the dragon fire, the body experiences this heat, this tingling, heightened emotion as well. So we, really allow the nervous system to integrate as well. So some people say that we should just do the one dragon a week, right? But we're going to do all seven. It is that important that they come through in this way. I'm going to be talking more about other energies that help us, and the trees and nature, etc. It's funny because we just found out or figured out that there's a beautiful sugar maple on our property, and it was interesting because I actually started paying attention to this particular tree. I just thought it was so magnificent. The leaves, the shape of the leaves were beautiful, and it wasn't that it stood out as a maple, right? It wasn't that it was standing out as that until it turned bright yellow here this autumn. Again, not noticed it before. Didn't notice it the whole time we've lived here, really. So I've started paying attention to this maple tree. And so the druid energy has started to coming forward as well, and the old flame codes with that. And so I started to have visions as I was sort of holding the tree and touching the tree. I was having visions actually of the ash tree, and it was just snapshotting. I'm like, oh my God, the ash tree. And I knew it was an ash tree. So there's information for me there, which I haven't started looking at yet. But again, it's more information for us to unlock, okay? The dragons of creation are not external deities. They are extension of your own soul essence. Their return signals humanity's readiness to create consciously again. When you breathe with them, you are not summoning something outside of yourself. You are remembering it. And the seven flames unite within you, and the world responds to your light as to the breath of the eternal dragon itself. We're on it, okay? There is nothing, there is nothing, and there's, oh gosh, there's also a whole lot of stuff here. Okay. Whew. The heart of the dragon sits in who you are as a soul. And you are ready to rise. And this is what that energy will bring forth in you. It will show you what is lacking, what is continuing that doesn't need to, what you might need to let go of, and you may be challenged in those things until you actually do it. challenged in those things as you go forward, right? Something that is also pushing through us at the moment is the echo of the supermoon, right, in Taurus. The echo of this energy of intensity, right? And to bring that strength back into your being. The purpose of all of this flame work, okay, is for you all to feel finally in control of your life in every aspect of it. And there are going to be parts or times when you feel like, okay, I'm slipping back, or something's coming up unexpected, or I've had an argument, or I've gotten upset about something. All right, the old you would start getting all depressed about this. The new you says, it is what it is, and moves on to the next thing, right? When you are powerful, I am going to just warn you of something, okay? When you step into who you really are, and you no longer care what anybody thinks about that, and you might be expressing yourself, you might be having a good time, there might be photos of you having a ball, or video. I made a video singing the other day, and it was like, instead of people just having joy for you, this is where you're going to find, as you're stepping out, right, that people are just more threatened by who you are. They feel something is triggered inside of them of being less than or something, or in lack or whatever. You need to keep on just being yourself anyway. Never apologize for that. Don't put up with anyone else's BS either, though. You're not going to get yourself caught up into situations where you are dimming who you are and dimming your light and dimming your beliefs to suit somebody else who really doesn't give a crap about anybody but themselves anyway, right? You know, it really shows me there are moments in my life when I'm at the lowest of my low, and that it really shows me the people that continued to kick me while I was down, or laugh about it, or not help, or just abandon, and the people that were there. You know, there's very few people that are truly a true ally in your life. And that's just how it is. That's just how it is. Don't let yourself lower your standards, dim your light, shrink yourself to fit a false system that no longer is going to even support or be there for you or anything anymore. It's not even the direction that you want to go into. So don't, you know, all those people that are still on that side and going, oh my God, look at it now, and look what's going on, and oh my God, there's this and that, and oh God, ooh, yuck, whatever. Because they're not doing anything in their life. Because they're still circling around and in their own brain all of the time with all their BS. They can't wait for the weekend to come where they can just get down and get dirty and go out and do whatever they're going to do. They live for the gossip. They live for the drama. They live to control. Do you really care anyway? Like, do you really want this? Right? And people say to me, I wish I had that. Oh, if only I had. No, you've all got this. Right? You've all got this. What you have to do is stop comparing yourself with other people. People that don't even matter. That would kick you while you're down and laugh about it. Right? Who would come and just use and then laugh about that as well, thinking how stupid you are. Let them. They are living in a false reality that you have escaped, right? And you are the one that's going to go higher and higher and higher in your life, and more and more and more successful, right? And you will gain people around you that don't like that. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. You've suffered enough for everybody else's viewpoints. You've given enough of yourself away for abusive people. This might have started as in your childhood. And again, you're not going to understand what your kids are doing either all of the time. You're not. You just have to remember that by the law of grace in the universe, you have the power to direct energy towards your children and your family members. You can either do it negatively with worry and stress and concern, or you can flip that switch take your power back and redirect that energy positively for your child by clearing the energy, or putting the flame wall upon them, and the healing vibrations and the angels, whatever you want to do, and you see them in their wellness and you see this done. This does far more for your child than your worry. That will just continue to fester around the energy. And I know that it's difficult. I really know that it's so difficult to step back when all you want to do is go forward, right? Step back, recenter, recalibrate, reclaim your power. This is another thing from that Samhain energy of reclaiming what's already yours, okay? What they tried to stop, what they tried to throttle. And, you know, nowadays they do it with trends, and, you know, certain trends are going this way, and if you're not, then something wrong with you. No, dare to be different. Stand out from the crowd. Do what you love what you do. Start to and get better rather than getting bitter, right? Because we all know what that's like around us. And it's funny because there are some people that know what it's like to be picked on, right? And they know what it's like to be the odd person out. And so then they just form this group around and do it to you. It's amazing to me how that happens. That's why in this journey, unfortunately, there's very close circle. For me, with myself, it's my close circle right around me. One or two other little friends that I know that they've already known me before all of this work. So they know, right? People who meet me with this work, it never seems to work because it always ends up being something weird, okay? It's just how it is. So I tend to just remain neutral rather than get attached to anyone, because I've been there, done that. And if I start getting attached, then it starts to become a problem. And it's happened every single time. So I just am who I am, but I try not to get attached to anyone that's learning here or anyone that's doing anything. It becomes a problem for me, right, in my life. So all of the love and all of the support and all of the joy is genuine. It's there. You feel it. You know it. It's like if there was anybody that ever had your back, it's me, right? And I know, because of what I went through myself, exactly what it's like. Okay, you're at the bottom of the barrel and no one's there helping you to get out of the sludge. I know, right? What makes it more powerful is that you're able to get yourself out. Instead of being, you know, needing someone to help you get out, you actually start the charge within yourself. And I am seeing in the comments, I am seeing on Facebook and here, and I am seeing a change in how people are actually answering things. I am seeing less and less and less spam accounts, right? I'm sure there still are some, but I'm seeing less and less and less of this. I'm seeing less and less and less of confusion and more of power and strength and recognition and recollection and things coming up and things changing and things shifting and things moving. I'm seeing more of this than I've ever seen. It is so exciting that this is actually literally because of you and your own work with this. It's spreading out. It's having a ripple effect, right? It's rippling out. It has no choice. All these little flames are just lighting up all over the globe, right? This essence, the source, the true primordial essence of who we really are before all the BS infiltration came in and dumbed us all down, made us all comply, made us all listen. We already had this, what I'm trying to give back to you. We already had it. We already have it. Now we're just waking it up, right? Within ourselves. And there are lost ancient teachings. There are different civilizations that we're going to look at. There's different vaults around the planet and within your body and all of this. There are different guardians that we have, different ways of speaking with the angels now. The dragon's here, the dragon energy, of course. We have the 7 keys. We have all of these webinars will have probably around about 7 different points that we'll be making and activations that you will be having. There are things still at the websites for all of you, and of course there's some cheaper deals on BDevine online as well. I really want you to experience these transmissions. And then I'll just eventually just be once a month doing these big talks and videos in between, because it's so important that we really, really, really start to understand what we have going on here, right? Something else I wanted to look at real quick. Okay. We will also learn about different type of astral entities as well. Things that can happen on an astral level that we are protecting ourselves from, and we're starting to become more and more aware of. We're starting to see through the programs in social media and on the news and all of this. We're starting to, it's just performance, right? We're starting to see the performance. Now, we're starting to understand also the false light beings and the false channelings, feeding on subtle energy, right? Subtle energy draining and bringing confusion and dependence and chasing signs without grounding yourself. There are people who are, or energies that are called, I'll just talk to you about some of them. These shadow latches. These are dormant entities that awaken during trauma or jealousy attacks. They're like, oh, this is great. They feed on emotional trauma points and often tied to betrayal or abuse. Their symptoms are you suddenly get this flash of anger, you have a fear of success, or you have some sort of sabotage after a win. And we do the flame mirror sealing and we take our power back with these. But some of these you just got to understand what all of the symptoms are. Astral leeching, they bring in nightmares, loops, excessive thoughts. You get drained after all of these things. So there's remedies for that. Unresolved spirit energy of ancestral attachments. And this is a lineage trauma group. And this brings repetitive life patterns, feeling depressed, feeling haunted. So there's a remedy for this. There's entity contracts, which are false agreements made in our past lives under duress. And they feed on these karmic loops, and they give you a sensation of being blocked or tied to things that don't feel like you. And there's a remedy for this as well. There are mimic guides, okay, which are copycat guides. These are false channeled beings posing as helpers. I see this a lot with people. The symptoms are circular answers, dependency, and disempowerment. Again, we have a remedy for this, okay? There are benevolent astral beings that are flame guardians. These are protectors of your scroll. They guide your breath, they guide your voice, and they bring tingling heat, sudden truth bursts, right? Golden white flames. These are protectors though, the flame guardians, like the angels. We have the dragon flame allies, again, timekeepers. These are power restorers. These awaken your DNA, they awaken your scroll lines. They bring an inner roar, they bring ancient memories, they bring phoenix-like surges, okay? The true angelics are oversoul guides who speak in sovereignty language. They bring peace without agenda, full body relief, powerful silence as well. They speak the flame, they respond to soul sound, not begging, just this is what it is. And the soul flame choirs, they echo your soul's truth and restore your frequency when this false energy attacks. And their symptoms are hearing tones, songs, whispers that activate but don't sedate. Okay, so there's all these remedies and ones to get rid of and ones to increase. Okay, you want to get rid of all the astral entities, but you want to increase all of the connections with the protectors. All this is coming. I have so much to teach you, right? There's just so much to share. It's very hard for me to keep up with, but I'm doing it because I love it, right? And every day a puzzle comes up, and every day the solution is given. It's like, oh, but what about this in history? And then it's like, okay, it's blah, 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 blah. Start writing, you know, as I've said to you before. Start writing. Start writing. Don't stop writing. You got all this over here. You got all this over here. You got all this stuff here. You got all this stuff here. Right? Got all these symbols and other places. And then I've got, you know, as I've told you, I got books coming out my butt and information in those. Stuff I write down all the time. I know you guys are like this as well. And then, you know, I've got a pile of paper underneath me at any time. So, oh, what's that? Oh, that's some sort of thing, Leo moon. I've got stuff underneath me all of the time ready to go. Yeah, and I get all these words coming up that helps. So this is talking in here. The age of false light is over. The architects have returned. That's you all. The scrolls are no longer hidden. We wait for no one. We are the voice of the flame. We are. Okay, I allow what I already unlocked to reach me. I open my field to flame-tide wealth. I receive the return of what is mine. The dragons are rising. I've got it everywhere here on my books, right? This is just who I am. As a little kid, I loved having paper. I had paper. I was like, I got that computer paper with the thing, and they'd be ripping it right. If someone had a whole bunch of that, reams of that, I'd be like, I'm just drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing, right? That was the best thing. Having paper for me around. I love my fresh sheets of paper, so I get going, right? I like my notebooks as well. Most of the time I don't really like things that have lines. I want it to have no lines so I can draw as well if I want to. But anyway, this is all, now I'm all figuring out why all this has to be, right? We think of scrolls, we think of paper, don't we? And here it is all around me, and all of these are getting filled up with transmissions, which, by the way, transmissions, sacred energetic communications from higher dimensional flame sources, such as scrolls, bolts, dragons, souls, flames, and divine codes. They're delivered through voice, tone, breath, sigil, and intention. These are designed to awaken dormant codes, purify distortions, resequence timelines, and activate ones that are divine flame identity. When you get a transmission reading, you are getting sacred, energetic communications from these higher dimensional source flame sources. And then it has it as in a sort of a way where you'll get a PDF with invocations and breath work and what we were talking about. And sometimes people get some tones and things like that. It just really depends on what's going on and what you've asked for as well. So it's all happening. As I said, we're coming back to the front, okay? The ones that were discarded are rising. That's all of you as well. If you've been pushed aside and picked upon and treated badly and, you know, labeled or whatever it is, or you've been the black sheep, or you've been abused in some way and nobody listened, if you've been betrayed, if you've gone through years and years of pain with regards to your children, or even with regards to your parents, like whatever way that is for you, or both, okay? You know, this is the place for you. There's a reason all of that has occurred, and there's a reason why you're here now. And this is what is awakening on this planet. This is what the flame sovereignty is. Regaining what was already there, but hidden from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime of BS, right? And basically fear, trauma, all the rest of it. We are releasing the curse on the planet. We are releasing that curse once and for all, and lifting the true grid of this planet, which changes things for all of us on this pathway. It may not change things for people who are still distracted and distorted, but that's part of their journey too. And we can't really worry about what that is or where that goes, right? This is all about you focusing on where you are and where you're going, regardless. And yes, it means you have a tighter circle. And yes, it means that, you know, even how loving you are, there are still going to be people that don't understand you. They're not your people, okay? And the more that we learn that, the quicker we start to go forward to the next thing. So, thank you for people who are putting their comments. Maybe some people are sending you $2 or something. That's wonderful. I appreciate every single one of you. I really hope that you'll continue your growth, your mission. You've got things to do here on this planet. You've got awakening to happen, okay? You're recalibrating. You're vital, okay? You are worthy and you are worth it, all right? You've got it all within you. My job is to just pull it all out, okay? Get you going. I will see you in the next video. Let me know what you think. I'm always happy to see comments. And keep shining. Sending lots of love. See you soon. Bye for now.